July 2014. The Rwenzori region wakes up to a bloody scene after violence breaks out in Kasese and Bundibugyo areas. February 2016. The Rwenzori region is again thrown into panic after contested election results causes pockets of violence in the region. The increased political tension led to the infamous November 2016 massacre, in which more than 100 people are believed to have lost their lives. These clashes have been a part of a long tradition of unrest in the Rwenzori region due to historical, socio-economic and political tensions.
There is a political differences, but I want to let you know that in Bundibugyo, most of the people are government supportive. But because someone loses, he apportions the blame to the cultural institution. But yet, whoever goes to stand has the right to stand. And whoever goes to vote has the right to vote. And whoever goes to vote or stand, you do not desist from your own language. You don't desist from your own culture. You still stand as a Mwamba and you remain a Mwamba. But whenever a Mwamba goes through, the other one was against that Mwamba, you say maybe the cultural institution has gone in, and which is not true.
Historically, the vast majority of political violence has been attributed to the presence of rebel groups such as the Allied Democratic Forces, who were concentrated in the region in a campaign against the Ugandan government.
For peace, at least we are moving well. It's only that we still have some corners where some people are disturbing our people, mostly youth members. They are deceiving them how they can fight. But we as the security members, we try to harmonize and talk to them. But lucky enough, at the RFPJ, they used to come and help us, how they can handle these members.
The constant spate of violence led to the creation of Rwenzori Forum for Peace and Justice, a coalition of local civil society organizations that have been operating in the region since 2002.
RFPJ is a civil society organization based in the Rwenzori region, and our work rotates around promoting issues of peace, promoting issues of non-violence, promoting the culture of respect for rights. We've been in existence since 2002, and our work in the region we've had challenges but also opportunities. We set out to galvanize the youth in this region towards peace building.
Rwenzori Forum for Peace and Justice's work in the region has seen tremendous change in the region over the years. The Rwenzori region saw a peaceful, highly built 2021 elections largely due to the timely intervention of civil society organizations like the Rwenzori Forum for Peace and Justice.
RFPJ is one of the organizations that has come on ground and still takes time also to come on ground to find out whether what has been discussed has taken place, so they make a follow-up. For example, we have had several meetings with other cultural institutions within Rwenzori sub-region, and we have had a dialogue on peace. And it was the first time for NGOs to think of bringing the three recognized cultural institutions and those yet to come on board to be together and speak a common voice. And the common voice is supporting the community for sustainable development. And sustainable development has to do with coexistence, which is cultural diversity.
Okay, there are so many challenges. For example, especially under COVID now, we have big challenges. Majority of our youth are not at school, and we have problems. But because of what RFPJ has been giving us, at least we have had very fewer problems than expected. And we have had a good time where we have been having cordial relationship with our youth, especially whenever we are engaged by RFPJ. And we have developed love for one another, especially among us, our ethnic groups. We have so many ethnic groups in Kasese, but now we can sit together, we can work together, we can do everything together without any problem. And I believe this is partly because of the work of RFPJ.
I remember those days before RFPJ came into our district and joining us, the youth together. We had a lot of violence in Bundibugyo. But when RFPJ came in, seriously, after elections, even for elections, no youth fought. We voted, and who won, won, who lost, lost. So all that, I thank RFPJ.
According to Francis Taise, the Executive Director for Ntoroko Forum for Peace and Justice, in order to address the continuous challenges of peace building in the region, the organization has been working with the like-minded organizations like UNDP to tackle the root cause of the violence tension in the region.
From July 2020 to June 2021, RFPJ partnered with the UNDP to start a project titled Harnessing Youth Potential for Peace in Uganda. And this project was implemented in 5 districts of Kasese, Bunyangabu, Kabarole, Ntoroko, and Bundibugyo. The project specifically aimed at rallying young people for peace. And the main intention was to mobilize young people and several other stakeholders towards peaceful elections. In this project, we paid specific attention to the aspect of Ubuntu. Ubuntu is a value which emphasizes that if you think something is good for you, then you should also wish the same for another person.
Several young people were rallied to denounce and desist from the violent tendencies that marred previous electoral processes.
And in this specific work, we collaborated with cultural institutions, we collaborated with security agencies, we collaborated with elders and several other women groups to build a culture of peace, to build a culture of saying no to violence. And in all this collaboration, the purpose was to mobilize young people to promote non-violence, especially before general elections of 2021. And with the work that we did with these young people, we were able to make a contribution towards peaceful elections in 2021.
We aimed at putting the youth at the forefront of peace building in the region in the election period, because usually this region is characterized by a lot of conflicts in the electoral period. And usually the youth are instrumentalized in these processes, so we wanted to equip them with knowledge and skills to be able to know what they want during elections and not to allow politicians to use them. So we trained a number of youth in their groups, for example, under their cultural institutions, because we realized sometimes the cultural institutions are the ones that influence politics in this region. So we worked hand in hand with the cultural institutions, and we trained the youth together with their leaders in those cultural institutions, and they were able to tell them what they expect during this season of elections, what they expect from their cultural leaders, and how they wanted to be able to express their rights without being influenced by anyone.
The youth were empowered through vocational skills training in various fields to address the high unemployment rate in the region.
The livelihood aspect came in towards the end of the project, and we were looking at how we could give the youth skills so that they are able to use the skills to do things that can give them an employment. Because we realized that most of the youth were engaging in violent activities because they had nothing to do. And in that regard, we were given an opportunity to train 400 youth, both girls and boys, in livelihood, and were selected 4 trades, that is carpentry, tailoring, hairdressing, and welding. Initially, the project was implemented in 3 districts, but because of the spillover effect, we had to add in the 2 districts, one neighboring Kasese and the other one neighboring Kabarole and Bundibugyo. So we added in Bunyangabu for Kasese and also added in Ntoroko. So with the livelihood aspect, we engaged 5 districts.
The mobilization we did all around, because previously we used to have rough elections, but the last elections were very peaceful because of the cordial relationship we had with RFPJ.
In the next series of videos, we highlight the intervention by Rwenzori Forum for Peace and Justice to try and mitigate the cycle of violence in the Rwenzori region.